Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Century National Bank WHIZ-TV Game of the Week. We are at Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls. John Glenn at Philo tonight. Kevin Rouch with you, along with the coach, Doug Clifford. And, Coach, the last couple of years, these teams have played 3 times, and they've all been fun.
Boy, they have. They've had some great games. Both teams have won 1 or 2, and this is like a heavyweight battle. I mean, every year now, both years, 2 years in a row, the games have been extremely important in the playoff picture and the league championship.
Well, and we're looking at now at the MVL standings coming in. You see how important it is this year as John Glenn lost a tough one last week to Sheridan by just 13-12. Philo, a couple of wins already, but this starts a stretch for them, Coach, where they play after this tonight, which will be tough against John Glenn. Then they play Sheridan and Philo. So these 3 weeks going to be critical for the Electrics.
Well, they will be, but just like Coach Linscomb told us in the pregame, you can't do anything about your opponents 2 or 3 weeks away. It's all tonight. So they're completely focused on John Glenn tonight.
Well, and we saw last year, even though Philo won the game 15-13, and we'll talk more about that as we go through tonight, but it was John Glenn that got into the playoffs because they ended up beating Tri-Valley, getting a lot of points out of that. So the winner of this, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the playoff team, but, boy, it sure helps in terms of points.
It sure does. You have to beat a few teams every year that have winning records unless you just run a table and beat everybody. So
both
it's important.
Exactly, and both these teams in Division 4, Region 15, so it's even more critical when you're in the same region. Philo going to kick it off. Boot is away, and it's a good one. It'll go in the end zone, and that means that nothing's going to happen on this. That was Carson Kearns, and we know he's got a good leg, Coach. I know you talked to the kicking coach from Philo before the game.
Well, Matt McIntyre was on my staff at Kirksville, and he may be the best coach in this conference as far as what he does at his position. I mean,
well,
he's great at it.
You and I both had a chance to talk to him, and he is an innovator, not just a coach.
That's right. He's got that little device on the sideline he uses to get his kicker to open his hips more and get more power. And that ball sailed into the end zone that time, but no sweat.
Carson Kearns again, the kicker. So starting at the 20, and at quarterback for John Glenn, it's Evan Williams. We saw a lot of him last year. Handoff left side, a lot of running room. And a good push behind him. And it'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down. That was Brady Emerson, another guy we've seen for 4 years now. You were saying there's been an Emerson playing at John Glenn.
Forever. I think it must be in the contract there at the high school. Little jet sweep that time. Philo's in a 3-4 type defense, and they just smoked her on that corner that time on the defense's right side.
Wellmeyer is the running back. He's going to get this one. And just shy of the first down. I don't think he got there.
No, not at all. Philo plays defense. They could line up in a 1-10, and they can still play defense. It's just a defensive school, defensive-minded coach, the whole bit.
You see just stepping into the hole.
You bet. Close that thing off, tackle, close it down.
So it is a 3rd and short in the pistol. Put Emerson in motion. Handoff will go up the middle, and I think he got it. Maybe by the length of the football. Again, going to Wellmeyer, and you can see not a bad push up front, but again, guys getting through there.
Had some penetration. They just couldn't stop the ball carrier. He didn't need much for the first down, and he didn't get much, but it was enough for a new set of downs.
One of the guys, Hunter Seitz, from that left side getting through. There you see Hunter Seitz, 56. Was able to get there, but just couldn't quite stop the forward progress. Again, it's Wellman, but this time he'll be hit for a loss.
Well, you just can't give up that kind of penetration on your line of scrimmage. That time a Philo defensive man was across the line and met the ball carrier in the backfield.
Casey Munyon, guy that we've talked about a little bit off and on for a few years, but he was able to slice through there.
Outside linebackers for Philo are up on the line of scrimmage, so it almost looks like a 5-2 defense.
So 2nd and long this time, now 2nd and 12 after the loss. Williams, quick pass on the flat, but not much there at all.
Oh, wow.
Again, good pursuit to the ball by Munyon. Also getting there was Colt Perkins.
Colt Perkins read that thing immediately. He broke on the ball as soon as the man went on the little swing pattern. Great reaction on his part. That speaks well for the coaching staff. Scouting report did a great job on that play. Snuffed it before it ever got started. Third down and how much? 12?
Yeah, so another passing down set up for Evan Williams. We may also see Anthony Perkins in there. The junior quarterback, Williams, will throw it too long over everybody's head. It was intended for score Perkins out there, so Perkins on either side. Football tonight, and that'll set up fourth down for the Muskies.
Good coverage that time by the Electrics. Had the receiver smothered. Had the ball been on target, there's a good chance it could have been stripped, or if it had been even a little closer, maybe a little high, that would have been a pick. Nice job that time by the Electrics on defense.
Emerson is the punter for John Glenn. And he'll be kicking to, it looks like Elijah Preston back there for Philo. Left footer. And it is Preston, but he's going to let it bounce and go. John Glenn gets a little bit of a bounce, then hangs up right around the 30-yard line, and that's where Philo will start their first offensive drive of the evening. Beautiful night here in Duncan Falls. This is just the way you order them up right here, Coach.
Boy, it is. This is a beautiful stadium, great facility here. You know, I coached in the league when all the schools had grass fields and small visitor size, and this is a tremendous upgrade over here. They've done a really nice job over here.
Only a couple of those grass fields left in the
Yes,
MVO.
there is.
Munyon, the ball carrier, and he'll be hit for a loss. Good play to get through there by Dylan Milstead and make the play.
Boy, Coach Linscomb told us John Glenn was big up front. John Glenn is big up front.
Well, and defense has not been the problem for John Glenn in the early going.
Right, right.
It has been trying to find an offensive spark, but their defense has played well, and there's some big fellas in the middle of that line.
They're also playing a 3-4 alignment where they're giving up nothing in the middle.
Maybe get the yard back to the original line of scrimmage plus one more.
Well, those inside linebackers react right now. Wow, look at that. They're flying up in there.
And just tough play in the middle of the field by a lot of Muskies. Going to set up a 3rd and 9. Hunter Adolph is the Philo quarterback. Happens to live just beside the stadium. He goes through his backyard to get here. And he's a good one. He'll look to throw here. Blitz coming into the flat, and I think it hit the turf. It did before it got to Munyon and set up a 4th down.
Well, the linebackers are on their way, buddy. Wow. One from the outside, one from the inside.
Adolph was able to get rid of it, but he didn't have much choice but to turn and fire without really seeing where the receiver was.
He absorbed a shot on that too.
Owen Smith in to do the punting, a sophomore. I think they're missing a player.
You know, it looks like the punting game could be a critical aspect of this game already. I mean, both teams forced to punt in their first possession.
Good snap, plenty of time. And taken at the 35 with some room to run. And get it close to the 40. That was Hayden Glaub. And Glaub gets it about 5 yards on the return.
Okay. Zach Gia.
I want you to try this. That's it, Giannatino. There you go. Although we'll be told later that's wrong. You know, in basketball, we'll be told that's wrong.
From now on, he will be known as Zach.
Did a great job there, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Great tackle, great coverage.
So 1st and 10 for John Glenn, their second drive. Had a first down and then stalled in their first drive of the night. And again, good stout defense at the point of attack.
That outside dive play in the veer offense, that would have been called, you know, the outside veer. But it looks like they're going to go over a little tempo here. And they're lined up ready to roll again. Philo's defense is going to have to be ready to line up without ever getting in the huddle tonight.
And a great play by Brock Luberg, who fought off that block and still made the tackle. Well done. 3 yards on the first down play. And again, John Glenn.
Wow.
Conservative in their play calling, and Philo makes them pay for it. First guy to the football was Stephen Irvin.
He absolutely stuffed that play.
You can see he just fights off the block and gets that. Actually, it wasn't Irvin first. We'll try to identify.
Well, down line, it looked like the nose man.
We'll try to identify that player for you. It looks like that might be, well, we don't know yet. We'll get that figured out. These jerseys are a little bit better than last week, Coach, but maybe it's just us. Over the middle, it's complete. What a throw. And a good block
nice
out in front, and that's going to go all the way.
What a
great
block.
Throw, and then a great block out front.
That safety never saw that block coming at all. He took it right into chops.
58 yards. And it was Reese Perkins. We've seen him a lot over the last couple of years. And that throw fits right in to the middle of that zone.
Here comes the block.
And then making the block was Colt Emerson. So 52 yards it goes.
Colt Emerson is a freshman.
Well, he's going to get some kudos from the seniors after that one. And the kick and score Perkins is a good one. He kicks it through. And just like that, well, we've stopped play on the field. Let's check it and see if there's anything we need to know about before we send it. We'll wait for the call. And it's going to be personal foul against Philo, and we'll probably do that on the kick. So we'll take a break. The kick was good. 7-0 is our score here at Sam Hatfield Stadium. We'll be back right after this. So one of the concerns for Matt Edwards, the head coach of John Glenn, was getting the offense a spark. And, Coach, I think they found a spark in this one.
Well, I'm telling you, we were talking about one quarterback ran the ball for Philo and one quarterback throws the ball. Well, that time the running quarterback made a really nice throw, put that thing right where he had to. And I think Philo defense was a little surprised at the accuracy of that pass. No one broke on the ball. No one broke on the receiver quickly enough to make the tackle.
So Perkins goes in from 52 yards out.
And
that's Reese Perkins. We want to make sure we get everybody identified correctly here.
With that 15-yard mark off, John Glenn's kicking off from the Philo 45. This is a great time to kick an onside kick.
Yeah, a lot of coaches, that's the automatic, isn't it? So it was a personal foul. But Score Perkins is just going to show off. He's going to try to put it through the uprights. It would have been long. I think he went a little left, but it was certainly long enough. And it'll come back out to the 20. And
I wonder how long it'll be before high school amends that rule. Everybody else has. No one else starts at the 20-yard line anymore. College
they bring it out a little bit further. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And, well, in college, too, you can call that fair catch even in play, right? So bring it out.
You can call fair catch in high school.
Yeah, but I think it stays at where you caught it rather than coming out, right?
Right.
So Hunter Adolph in the shotgun. Munyon to his left now will go in motion. Quick pass to him in the flat.
Oh, nice
Score
step.
Perkins gets by him, and he'll get it out for a first down. That's, it's up to the receiver to make that first guy miss, and he made Perkins miss.
Man, it looked like a bullfighter.
He had
Woo.
And just a very quick move.
Swing and a miss.
And Munyon, then he gets the rest of it as spins his way to a first down at the 31. Empty backfield this time with Adolph. And he'll fake it, run up the middle, and get about 4 on the play.
Oh, nice block that time. 56 for Philo. Wow, Hunter sights.
Yeah, he moved. He moved some folks. So second down and 7. And John Glenn playing press coverage on the receivers. And it is picked off. That's Emerson. Down the sideline he goes. He'll be knocked out of bounds by Adolph, the quarterback. but just trying to throw into traffic as he looked back over the middle, Coach.
No doubt. I mean, if he hadn't picked it off, one of the other 7 guys would have. I mean, he's just surrounded.
I think he just lost track of Emerson.
Yep. Just tried to force it in there and should have probably pulled that one down and just taken off.
Give Hunter Adolph credit. He went down and got the tackle. Sometimes quarterbacks are a little dejected after that, and they don't go after the football, but Adolph was right on it. So let's see if –
well, this is just what the John Glenn offense needs. 7 points already on the board and 10 yards for another one. I mean, this is a great start for them.
Very short field. And running out of a pistol, although 5 yards back and right up the middle, but John Glenn defense getting the job done in the middle of the field. And you can see, Coach, they just got a nice push up front.
The interior line for Philo is dominating the line of scrimmage. You know, John Glenn's made their yardage on the perimeter so far tonight.
And that was Hunter Seitz again, doing it on both sides of the football in the trenches. So 2nd down and goal now from the 11-yard line.
He's a bunch receiver, tight bunch here on the line of scrimmage.
Emerson in the backfield this time gets the quick pitch. He's going to lose a couple more.
Well, Hunter Adolph did make the tackle, but he turned that thing back to the inside, and it was all ugly from there on for John Glenn.
When they just got a lot of hats to the football. They tried to run a little counter motion and then kind of a speed pitch out that way, but you're right, Adolph turned him back in and had some friends there to close off the play. Now 3rd down and goal, but now out at the 14-yard line.
John Glenn's going to huddle on this one, get to know each other a little bit, run the play.
Play clock down to 10. So they will have to get going. Back in the backfield is Wellmeyer.
Crossing pattern.
They're trying to go the other side, and little shove while the ball was in the air. You can't do that. And again, in high school, catchable, it doesn't matter.
No, it does not.
And you'll hear the fans. They'll start talking about that it was not catchable, but that is not part of the rule. And again, just a shove, and didn't need to do it as that ball was well over everybody's head.
Well, I saw, you saw that thing develop immediately. Scorer Perkins started on the right side and ran that crossing pattern underneath, try to get, just underneath the linebackers, and Philo didn't fall for it. They had him covered. It's a shame the young man pushed him in the back because that would have made it 4th down. Now they have a
well, it's 3rd down. It's not an automatic first down.
Okay.
It's 3rd down and goal from the 7. So it was half the distance, 7 yards, and again a 3rd down and goal play. Williams.
Little fade.
Throws. Did he get a foot down? Did he get a foot down? He did, says the referees. And that is a touchdown.
Wow.
What a throw and what a catch. Perfectly timed out. Again, going to Reese Perkins. And just like that, did he get a foot down? It's hard to tell from that view, but see, we'll run it. Yeah, just can't. It was close. Referee was right there, said he got the 1 foot in. So Perkins, his 2nd touchdown of the night, this one coming from 7 yards. First one from 52.
Looked like the safety for Philo looked back at the ball, then looked at the receiver and lost track of the football. But when he looked back, and it was too late then. Perfect throw. Touchdown.
I mean, Reese Perkins is a 6'3" target, and you just got to let him go get it. He does for the 2nd time tonight. And just like that, 14-0, John Glenn increases their lead. Still 3:55 to go in this first quarter. We got a lot of action. Don't go anywhere. Back after this. 2nd touchdown of the night from quarterback Evan Williams to his receiver Reese Perkins. The first from 52 yards. Moments ago it was 7 yards on a 3rd and goal. Both kicks good from scorer Perkins. And that's how you tally them up. 14-0. John Glenn on top, but plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
And Philo, a pretty good football team. My guess is they're going to find their way back into this one.
Well, they've had some poor performance so far in the secondary. I'd say all the units are kind of evened up, except the receivers are really having their way with the Philo secondary.
This kick will get to the end zone, and we'll bring it out to the 20. And Philo, let's see what they do to get a little spark going on. They have not been on the other side of the 50 yet tonight.
Well, this is already an aggressive defense for John Glenn. I mean, they run well. They run to the football. They're tough up the middle. They have speed on the perimeter. And you give a defense like that a 2-touchdown edge, and their speed increases. I mean, they really get aggressive. The defensive play call becomes very aggressive from this point out. I mean, it's early in the game, but a defensive coordinator, this is his dream.
And little zone read, and it goes to Munyon.
Oh,
yeah, that was a little bit of a flop.
Yeah,
in the
that
middle
was
of the field. Anthony Perkins kind of found his backside there.
Well, if this football gig doesn't work out, Anthony could go to the NBA. I think he may have a career on doing the flop. But
yeah,
man,
there he saw it at the tail end. Now, careful, my son works at the NBA. I don't want this not disparage. It's the reason I don't have to pay for him anymore. So we say nice things. 2nd down and 8, just a couple of yards on the play for Munyon, and we're going to get a flag. Somebody moved. Illegal procedure going to go against Philo.
Boy, it's an interesting defensive adjustment at the very last second. John Glenn changed their coverage. The safety was back and the corner was up, and just before the ball was snapped, the safety flew up into the flat, and the corner dropped off. I mean, that's the kind of thing that a high school quarterback, you take one quick look and you see the secondary, and then when you get the ball, it's going to be a lot different. There they go again.
They did it again, and again we've got a flag. Let's see what happened this time. Philo just so out of sync right at the moment. Another illegal procedure penalty. This is not what they needed after falling behind by a couple of scores. So it'll be 2nd down now and 20.
Boy, when the wheels come off, the wheels come off.
Well, it's.
I mean, Philo they're in disarray with personnel. Too many guys on the field, taking guys out. Can't get the snap. It's tough.
And actually 19 is what it is for a 1st down. And the throw flat's got a receiver there. Caught at about the 21-yard line. Good hit, but hanging on to the football. Nice play by Owen Smith. Just a sophomore.
Good protection. Ball's on time. Just barely in time, but it was there.
Reese Perkins on the tackle.
Nice pickup. Makes it 3rd and 9.
A lot more manageable.
Here comes the pass rush.
Coming from that outside edge, and they throw out there. He'd have had some running room trying to get it out in the flat to Preston.
It's a good call. Good read by the quarterback. The ball was just a little low and outside.
I mean, the old adage, you throw where the blitz is coming from. And that's the way they drew it up. Score Perkins was out in an island out there. It'd be interesting to see what would have happened. Instead, it'll be 4th down, and Philo will punt it for the 3rd time tonight.
That was a nice call by the Philo staff. I mean, they anticipated that blitz from the outside. It just didn't execute the pass. Look out. That's going to be a return.
Punt away, taken by Reese Perkins. He'll head to his bench, looking for some room, but Philo, good coverage downfield.
Yes, it is. I mean, it wasn't quite a total line drive punt, but he had that ball in his hands well before the blue shirts were down the field. Nice job that time by the punt coverage team for Philo.
Looked like Andrew Deal was the guy down there. So good play. Deal just a sophomore. Nope, did I get it right? No, he's a senior. So he's done this a couple of times, but good coverage there. But John Glenn still the better of it in field position, coach, as they'll start at their 48, now up by a couple of touchdowns.
Boy, this is a great time for a long pass.
Williams has gone all the way at quarterback tonight. They've also got Anthony Perkins, a junior. That'll hurt them as they'll move 5 yards back.
12 guys in a huddle.
There's just no way to sneak off a field, is there? If you're that 12th guy, you know?
You
think there'd be a way. Somebody, like have a trainer run out or something. I don't know what you do.
You can hide a holding call. You can't hide that sneak off the field deal.
Yeah. And they had some blockers set up on the left side of the line of scrimmage, and it was Emerson getting the ball, and he'll get the penalty back and a couple more yards after that, getting out to midfield. You see they had a lot of guys and good blocking at the point of attack there.
Bet.
Lineman doing a good job. One of those guys was
Like
Charlie Frick.
Charlie Frick, you bet. Senior, 6 feet, 235. Stayed on his block, sustained that thing the entire length of the play.
Emerson in motion. He'll get it again.
Here comes a sweep.
And Philo able to get him short of the first down. It'll still be about 4 yards to go on the third down play.
Boy,
Blueberg and Hunter Adolph in on the tackle.
A lot of teams don't play their starting quarterback on defense for fear of injury, but Hunter Adolph is in on about every other tackle.
So big third down play here, Coach.
Well,
and I don't think it's 4 down territory. I think you want to still have field position, right?
I'd punt this thing. I mean, you definitely control the field position. And figure if you hold them on downs, you get the ball at midfield again.
But we may be a little early on that. Let's see if John Glenn can get the first down. They'll try to do it on the ground, and they do, just like that.
Wow.
Wellmeyer behind some really good blocking. Gets it inside the 40-yard line. And, again, just at the point of attack, Coach.
Well,
people being moved back.
Guys are pushed back, you bet. Nice block, nice sustained block by the receiving core. You expect those big hogs up front to get a block, but those guys with the little numbers are doing a great job too.
And one of those interior guys, Gary Hoffman, that time on kind of the back side of it. Again, it's not just even getting that first push, as you said, Coach, it's sustaining that block. And we're going to get a penalty. This one is going to go against John Glenn.
Right guard had a little hiccup there. But
I'll tell you what, the umpire, the official, usually where the linebackers are, he's got some arm. He's getting that flag up in the air now tonight.
Well, the referees were running sprints in the end zone before the game.
This is an athletic crew.
Man, I mean,
but that may have been a record. Let's save that one on the replay because we could send that to somebody.
All right, another 1st and 15. See if John Glenn can overcome it again.
The two receivers on either side of the formation, they will look to throw. Williams looking out in the flat. Reese Perkins out there, well covered, and he did not get a foot down. And I think he might have caught the ball. Did he?
I think he caught the ball, but he did not land in the green. He was definitely in white when he came down.
And he was bracketed well on the coverage.
But the ball was there. I mean, the ball.
No, Williams can get it there.
He's getting the ball to his receiver in tight spots.
And, in fact, that could have even been a little offensive interference on Perkins as he got a little shove on Ashlyn Bailey out there. But good coverage by the Electrics. Of course, you just always got to know where 12 is. That's just the bottom line.
Well, Coach Linscomb said that's who they were throwing the ball to, trying to get the ball to 12 in their previous games, and we see why. Perkins is a quality receiver.
Wellmeyer, good head of steam, and he'll get it back to the line of scrimmage to 5 yards to make it 3rd down and 10.
Like Robert Litton on the tackle that time.
You know, we talk a lot of weeks, Coach, about the running backs now, how they're kind of waiting. We've seen as they see the NFL guys doing. That is not the way Wellmeyer plays.
No,
he goes full at it.
Looks like he's coming out of a cannon.
Well, that will end the first quarter. It was eventful. A couple of touchdown throws from Williams to Reese Perkins. Puts John Glenn on top 14-0. Second quarter action coming right up. We'll start the second quarter. John Glenn, the football in the 14-point lead, but they've got 3rd and long inside Philo territory. I still think it's a punt here if they don't get it, Coach.
I would look for Perkins over the middle.
He's kind of aimed that way, and he look at his little shoulder tilt there on 12. Up, he goes the other way. And a deep, and in the middle, it's complete. Ball's knocked out of there, but then right back on it. We're going to get a flag thrown. Well, let's see what that's all about. Pass complete to Hayden Glaub.
I see one of the Muskies looking at his coaches and pointing at the blue shirts.
Might have been at the end there. Let's see what the call is, but nice pass, Williams. Everybody kind of looking at Reese Perkins, who ran a little flag route.
Well, I had the wrong guy, but the right spot there. Definitely,
yeah,
they've definitely seen something in the Philo defense that is allowing him to throw the ball over the middle. I mean, so that's a tough place to throw the football.
And he put it right on him. So Philo, the penalty goes against Philo, and you can watch here, Coach.
Is it a face mask?
Let's see if we can get it at the end here. But, again, right in the middle of that zone. And
I'm going to guess.
I think it might have been a little bit of a late hit. I think his knee was down. And, yeah, it looked like he came in with the shoulder, but it was
First and goal.
a little bit late. But it is first and goal. John Glenn trying to stretch out the lead. Wellmeyer, and he may get a yard on the play. Good defense.
I like the defensive end squeezing down right defensive end. Looks like number 56.
Yeah, it's Seitz again.
Okay, he came in from his end position. Made that tackle from behind. You have to. I can hear the offensive line coach for years and years at Kirksville's Tom Fell. I can hear Tom Fell telling our kids, you have to block on the backside at the goal line. That's the guy that makes the tackle.
And Seitz at 250 has pretty good wheels for a guy that size. Right up the middle. This is the running quarterback now in the red zone. As coming in is Anthony Perkins. I wonder if you realize he has a famous movie star's name.
Well, Anthony runs pretty well straight
He
up.
sure does.
He's lucky he came back with his helmet in one piece.
Gets it to the 6-yard line, so
I'd
gain of a yard, but third down and goal.
This is a must stop, I think, for the Electrics. They need to get a stop here.
Certainly well within field goal range for Score Perkins. We got a lot of Perkins in this game, Coach. Anthony going to keep it and get down maybe another yard to the 5, but that's it. And all of them have figured into the game with Score Perkins, the kicker, Reese Perkins, a couple of touchdowns, and now Anthony Perkins running. And I was going to make a really cheap Alfred Hitchcock joke, but I promise I won't.
That's good. I was just going to say that I'm sure Coach Edwards doesn't want the Perkins family to go on vacation at the same time. But
thank you.
About 8 starting spots.
And they're going to let the clock tick down here, I think, and probably call timeout. So Matt Edwards can talk to his staff about what they want to do. 4th down and goal from the 5, and that is it. We will take that timeout while they consider things. John Glenn up 14-0, a decision to make. 4th and goal at the 5. John Glenn, a decision to make. Let's see what they'll do.
I don't see anybody carrying a little black rubber tee, so they're going to go for the score.
No, they brought Williams back in at quarterback. So they're going to go for
boys.
it.
Cover number 12.
Wellmeyer behind him. Going to roll right.
Oh, he's wide open.
Score Perkins out there. And so the Perkins family keeps a hold on touchdown scoring tonight. The first 2 from Reese. Now Score Perkins gets the touchdown from 5 yards out. And just like that, 20-0.
Boy,
John Glenn on top.
Those are the kind of things in coaching that absolutely makes you consider selling refrigerators. For some reason, the defensive back or linebacker for Philo was on the receiver and then just stopped. He was on Perkins and it stopped, and Perkins was all by himself. There wasn't anybody on him. Blown coverage.
So Score Perkins trying to do it all on this drive as now he'll look to kick the extra point. Good snap, good place. Kick is away. It looks good from here and is. And John Glenn adds to the lead here early in this second quarter. Lots of time to go, but Philo offense, this is a drive that's pretty important.
Oh, baby.
We'll be back right after this. John Glenn elected to go for it on 4th down and goal at the 5, and it paid off as Williams threw it to Score Perkins. And then Score Perkins added the extra point, and now he'll kick off. But not something we expected to see in this first half, Coach.
No, not at all. Coach Edwards was worried about Sheridan beating him 2 weeks in a row, referring to his team having a hangover from last week's 1-point loss at the end of the game. Looks to me like they've taken a big, strong dose of Pepto-Bismol and they're ready to roll.
Well, one of the things, too, kind of nice we haven't really talked about a lot is John Glenn, new facility out there. They just put in a turf field, and they're still finishing it up, so they'll have it for next year. But Coach Edwards said, it's kind of nice to have JG in the middle of the field now. They haven't had that as they played at Muskingum University.
Yes, they have. Forever.
So that must have added. They were practicing on it this week. Must have added to the esprit de corps just a little bit. Adolph throws it. What a catch. That ball was thrown before Preston made his move. Elijah Preston, the junior. I tell you, I'm not sure how he hung on to it. Adolph put it right in the spot.
Boy, he took a shot. Was that Radcliffe?
It was Score Perkins.
Oh, yes. My goodness.
Put his shoulder into him, clean hit. But hanging on the football and getting the first down, that's a big one for Philo. So Hunter Adolph put it where he had to. And a great catch. And kind of hung together at the mesh point there, so allow the defense to get on it.
They don't have to go past crazy. We're just under 9 minutes here in the first half. But you're down 3 scores. You need to score here this half.
Now, one of the guys we have not talked about yet, Coach, is the guy in the middle of that defensive line. He is only a freshman. Blandon Baker, 6'1", 335. And he can move. He had that last tackle as he split him. And Munyon had a knee down. And so they will stop play just a yard, and he was an inch from keeping that knee off the ground and heading off. You can see here.
Blandon Baker he's just left the game. This is going to be a pass rush situation. It's probably not his strong suit. But the way that defense is designed, you can go all the way to the NFL. Those guys that play nose man in the NFL, they're not pass rushers. They're run stoppers.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want you want them to take at least 2 blockers out of the way, right?
And Blandon is doing that. There's not much up the middle happening for Philo.
Well, I think he's got good feet. And
Yes,
that's for a big fella.
Oh.
And that's going to be a sack. Just an extra count. Adolph couldn't get rid of it, and getting in there was Ben Judd.
My old defensive backfield coach, Chris Boffin, would say this is a secondary sack, coverage sack, as he called them.
Yeah.
Great coverage down the field, no place to throw the football. Judd finally got there, made a nice sack. And it's all John Glenn right now.
So another punt coming up for Philo. Owen Smith back to kick it away. Good snap. Kind of side saddles that one.
Look out.
Gets
Look
a bounce.
out.
But taken by Hayden Glaub. And Glaub finds some room on the near sideline.
Nice job by Glaub. He picked up his blockers and picked up some extra yardage.
A little bit of pushing going on in the sideline. Don't need to do that.
Whoa.
And we're going to get a penalty flag.
Oh. He's going to call that on a guy I don't think it was even in the game.
Yeah, there's a player on the Philo sideline that got himself involved there and didn't need to. But let's make sure. I mean, he could have been the second guy in the fight. Let's see what's going on here. And nope, they're going to wave it off.
Okay.
I think there was giving and getting on both sides of that one, and that's what they decided. But, again, just no reason for it. There's frustration. You get that. But there's a lot of game to go. You don't want to put your team in a hole.
Well, that's the advantage football players have over the sports that don't wear helmets and masks. You can say things and no one can see or hear you say it,
right?
Except the guy you're saying it to. And so I'm sure the kids for Philo are getting a little frustrated. I mean, they're down 3 touchdowns in a game they had expected to win.
And good field position again for the Muskies. And they're going to approach it a little more as a running drive this time with Anthony Perkins back in at quarterback. He runs that zone read. And a good run by Emerson. Gets 5 yards on the first down play. So here's where John Glenn gives you some fits if they're running well, because now they've got the running quarterback in there.
That's right.
Anthony Perkins, 5'11", 180 junior. And he's going to hand it off again. And Emerson kind of way through there. He'll end up a couple of yards short, so it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Nice methodical approach to offense right now by John Glenn. I mean, It's exactly what they should be doing. They don't need to throw the ball. I mean, if they want to throw it, they certainly have that that luxury right now. But this is a great time just to run the ball, run that clock down, finish out the first half with at least a three touchdown lead.
They flip the receivers. Reese spreading this out. They'll just run the quarterback draw, and he's not going to get there. Good job by the interior of the Philo line to get a good push.
I think we have a sore knee.
Ouch, score Perkins. I'm sorry, that's Anthony Perkins down on the field. He's the running quarterback, which means if he's down for any time, we'll get Williams back in there. It is 4th down, no gain on the play to be 4th down and 2.
Well, he ran in there and got stood up, and boy, you see this so often, trying to fight for that extra yard, and the Philo kids just kept coming.
And it looks like they're going to get him back up on his feet, and that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
He'll limp off a little. Hopefully he'll be able to shake that off and get back in there. Good to see. But a big 4th down coming up. I think you got to kick it here, Coach.
I think you go for it.
Of course, that's what I said down at the 5 right before they scored a touchdown. Let's see what Matt Edwards does here. He's been pretty aggressive so far tonight.
I don't think he's going to take his foot off the gas.
5.5 minutes to go in this first half. Glad that you have joined us tonight. Kevin Rao along with the coach, Doug Clifford.
Here they come.
And I think now they're going to back. Nope, they're going to. Emerson's the punter, so you never know. He's back there, but he's going to line up and running back unless they may quick kick this if they get the quarterback out of the way. Let's see what they do. Yeah, I think they're going to direct snap to the. Oh, now they'll definitely kick it.
Well, it was going to be a pass. We know that thanks to the right tackle.
Yeah.
He had popped up and had perfect form, but popped
did
up a
it
little
count
soon.
too early?
Yep. So we may see a punt now. Or Coach Edders might.
You just never know tonight.
Right now, the way John Glenn's defense is playing, I would never punt the ball tonight if I was John Glenn. I'd go for it every chance I had the ball.
They may run that same. It looked. I thought they were going to move Williams out of the way, and that's what they're going to do for that quick kick. Let's see if the ball gets into the end zone or hangs up, but nice coverage by John Glenn. They're going to let it roll, and it gets a Muskies bounce and roll down to about the 8-yard line. I think that's what they were going to do anyway.
Do you?
Yep.
Okay.
I just think Emerson has not been lined up that far back before. And being an old Indiana guy, when Lee Corso was there, he was the king of the 3rd down quick kick because they were usually 3rd down in about 18 or 20.
Yeah.
So I've seen that quick kick formation a lot.
Well, that's definitely a reputation that you don't want to earn if you're a coach.
No. And it was actually, they had a quarterback named Scott Arnett, who was actually from Walnut Ridge in Columbus.
Well, there you go.
And he was a good kicker, too. So I think he kicked as much as he threw, to be honest. So 1st and 10 for Philo. They got a long way to go. They need to get something productive out of this. Munyon's got some room. And he'll get a 1st down, diving for that extra yard on the far sideline. He's a guy with a full-go motor all the time.
Well, I tell you what, he just seems like he's played forever.
And there you see the speed to get that edge against a very talented John Glenn defense. And they've got some speed on their side of things, too.
I think Casey started since his freshman year.
I believe he has. It seems like we've been calling his name forever. So 1st and 10 for Philo. Now they'll need to start keeping an eye on the clock a little bit. Adolph, and did he take too long? Nope. And somebody moved.
Yep.
So they will move the ball back because they still had 3 seconds on the play clock. Philo fans getting a little restless. We've seen, I think that's the 3rd procedure penalty tonight.
Well, it's frustrating for everybody, fans, players, coaches, when you can't get out of your own way.
Faking the jet sweep, and Adolph will hang on to it. And we're going to get a penalty late. Let's see what's going on. Again, things getting a little chippy, as you might imagine. Some frustration on the Philo side and not backing down on the John Glenn side, and that can be a tough mix. And it's going to go against Philo.
Well, you know, I saw a late block, but yeah, that's late.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
And what it looked like two John Glenn players ran into each other, and Philo player took a little umbrage. So second down and a bunch. They've got to get it out to about the 29-yard line for a first down. Throw good on the slant, caught. They'll get it out over the 20, so they get a big chunk of that back on second down.
Well, they caught John Glenn secondary in a switch somewhere because no one picks him up at all. He's wide open.
Yeah, Elijah Preston on the catch. And he's made a couple of catches kind of on his back shoulder in the middle of the field. That takes some courage.
Yes, it does.
Third down at about 8. 8 off empty backfield.
Right down the seam.
Got a number 5 and hung him out to dry a little bit on that one. And we're going to get a penalty on that. So referee's trying to keep this one constrained as much as possible. It's going to be a personal foul against John Glenn, and that'll give Philo a first down.
Now, I take umbrage to that call. I don't think that was a personal foul.
Well, let's take a look here.
Let's take a look. I mean, I thought it was.
First of all, when you deliver high over the middle, though, it's tough.
I mean, you're coming in. You're coming in to cover the guy. You don't know if he's going to catch you or not. I mean, you're making a tackle. I mean, I think that's a questionable call.
I think
like the John Glenn player hit his own teammate harder than he hit the guy from Philo.
Referees thought it might have been a little late, apparently.
Yep.
So a big first down out at the 35. Handoff will go to Munyon. He splits a couple of tacklers, gets it out over the 40. And there we're going to get another penalty. And this one will also go against John Glenn.
I don't know.
Now, there was some fighting late in that one. Again.
That may be a below-the-waist block. I mean, I can't tell.
I think it was late. Well, we'll see. That's a good thing is they'll call it, I guess. And they got a lot of discussion going on out here. Something tells me the John Glenn player kind of pushed after the play, maybe because he thought maybe he was blocked below the waist. Let's see what referee calls it. It's a dead ball, and it's going to be a personal foul against John Glenn. Okay. Nope, we're going to have two of them.
Offsetting penalties.
Both those players, a little giving and getting again.
The old offsetting penalty call, a tradition here between John Glenn and Philo.
Yeah, it is. Last year it took us 24 minutes to solve it.
24 minutes to get that called.
I don't think it'll take quite that long this year. You see money. You see right at the end of the play, and we had a block, and then there was a little block after the whistle, and then a little extra curricular after that. Yeah. So empty backfield, 2nd and 4.
Well, I thought I saw a lineman move there. Oh, look out.
Munyon
bounces
off a player, and he's got some room. Down close to the 30-yard line. The senior, Casey Munyon. I'm sorry, just a junior. Casey Munyon. Oh, my gosh.
Well, he comes flying
that can't be possible.
he comes flying around that corner. He had a couple blocks, makes some good moves, great cuts. I mean, this guy's carried the ball for a long time. He plays his blockers well.
Lots more to go for that young man, and he puts his team in a good spot here, and we're going to get a timeout called by John Glenn as Matt Edwards wants to give his defense a little bit of a rest. As Philo moving the football, we'll take a timeout. Just over 3 minutes to go in this first half. Philo driving. Philo down 21-0 to John Glenn here at home, but the Electrics are driving. 1st and 10 at the John Glenn 30-yard line. Kevin Rao, the coach Doug Clifford with you tonight on the Century National Bank WHIZ-TV Game of the Week. Coach and I are lucky enough to work with the best crew in television. It's a change from last week. No, I'm kidding. It's all the same guys. It's all the same guys. 1st and 10 for Philo. And they'll run the reverse. That's Munyon. And he'll go out of bounds. Late hit.
Yep, that was definitely a late hit.
Well, I'll tell you, penalties have we've had about at least one on every play, and this one going to go against, I believe, a late hit against John Glenn, Coach.
He was well out of bounds, and another man came flying in and hit Munyon. It was definitely as an obvious penalty. Silly mistakes. There's being aggressive, and there's being ridiculous. And that was one that you should never have.
And we can watch here a little reverse. Munyon, who just had the long run, now able to, and you see hit okay there, but Munyon may have helped drag him down a little bit too. But you know what? Heads up play by the junior.
Well, this is exactly what Philo needed to do. Nice call.
Adolph on the fake on the jet, takes it up the middle, and he'll get inside the 10-yard line.
Nice tackle by the safety coming up for John Glenn.
Philo can get a first down about the 3-yard line. Still plenty of time here, 3:05 to go. Clock not running for some reason. And
well, the referees are going to talk about that.
I think they will. And the play clock's still at 25, which is what you put on after the penalty. So, don't know if we have a problem or. I mean, everybody up here is pretty excited about this Philo drive as they finally get some momentum.
You're going to have 2:45 put on the clock.
I don't think that, not a real concern here. I don't think that'll spell the difference. And it does actually. 2:49 is what they put on it. Empty backfield. Let's see if he puts somebody in motion back to him. Adolph, and he does. That's Munyon. Fake to him. They look on the slant and a little high.
Nice
Had
play.
him there.
Yep. He was open for the touchdown, no doubt about it. The ball was just too high.
Ashland Bailey, and you can see, just stretched him out a little bit, Coach.
Defensive back right there. Make sure it didn't.
Hayden Glaub.
Hayden Glaub. Nice job.
So 3rd down now, Gold. Clock does stop with 2:40. Munyon will get it, but good defense. Coming up and making the play, he read it all the way, was Blade Barker.
Nice play. Nice tackle. Sure tackle on a good running back. Breaks down. Great job. He breaks down. He just doesn't run up there and fly past the ball carrier. Come down, got his feet underneath him, planted his feet, made a nice tackle, wrapped him up, took him to the ground. Excellent technique.
So down 21-0. Philo going to go for it from the 8-yard line.
Touchdown.
And they throw it, and it is a touchdown. Went back to the same play on the slant. This time it's Zach Giannatino.
That thing was there all night.
You can see this time he just took his time a little bit more. And even though good coverage out there, Giannatino able to grab it, and that is a huge score for Philo.
Yes, it is. He didn't really set his feet at quarterback. He just kind of kept moving, got the ball out there a little quicker. Nice play. Got open easily, got inside the defensive back.
Colton Stotts is the kicker, and he's a good one. And he knocks it through. And Philo, a really important score as we come down to halftime. 2:01 remaining in this first half, and it's now 21-7. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the WHIZ-TV Game of the Week, brought to you by Century National Bank. Kevin Rao, along with my good friend, the coach, Doug Clifford. And, Coach, to say that was a big drive for Philo in this one, I don't think is underselling it.
I think they had to have 7 points on the board going into the second half. I just don't think you can sell to your team at halftime, don't worry, boys, we're only down 3 touchdowns in the second half. We can come back and win this. That doesn't sell very good.
But by the same token, their defense needs to step up here as well.
You bet. They cannot give up a touchdown here, and John Glenn has plenty of time the way they're playing offense.
Kick taken at about the 4-yard line. That's Reese Perkins, and that's Emerson. Emerson, good speed, but good coverage by the Philo Electrics. One of the guys down there, Kendall Lent, to help make the stop. Also in on the play was Owen Smith.
So if I don't see a timeout designation.
Yeah,
on
I don't
the
know that
scoreboard.
each one has one timeout
Okay.
left. Okay. You just need to ask Jeremiah up here.
Yes. It's a good man.
All wisdom comes from Jeremiah.
Okay.
See right there?
Yeah, this is the time when you have to work the outside of the field unless you go for that big score down the middle, which the middle's been wide open the entire game for John Glenn.
Williams hands it off up the middle, and good defense. Jumping in there, Brock Luber. He's a tough one.
Oh, good tackle.
Yeah. He came off the block, too. He was occupied and came off and made that play.
You know what we might see is John Glenn run a couple plays, let the clock run, and then take one big shot and see what they can make out of that.
Williams has thrown 3 touchdown passes tonight.
I mean, they're in no hurry to run a play here.
Still plenty of time. And again, we have the signs here, the displays here with the clock, the play clock, down to 5 seconds. Hand off to Wellmeyer, and he'll get a first down. Needed 8, got 9. Good blocking, point of attack.
That may change your play calling now for the John Glenn offense. I mean, that's nice first down, pick up. They're in striking distance now.
Looked like Munyon in on the tackle. Right up the middle again.
Ball's
loose! And I think Philo has it.
They do. And the blue shirt filling that right now.
And 49 seconds left, and Philo going to have it at their 49-yard line. And that is not what you wanted to do.
No.
And you see he had a good head of steam, but it was out early.
Now our conversation with Matt McIntyre, the kicking coach for Philo, he said that his guy might be able to stretch it, 37?
Well, he said he's made him from
44?
From 44. He thinks he can get it from 47, which means they got to get the ball to the 30.
Well, this would be a time when you'd definitely take that field goal if you get a shot at it. Anything to cut into that lead.
Philo with all of their timeouts. Blitz coming. Throw into the flat, and up the middle goes Munyon. He'll lean forward to get a couple extra.
Okay, I think they're going to try to just stop the clock here.
They must not have all of those timeouts. Let's see. Yeah, they're going to run a play. They're going to keep going. And we're going to get a penalty flag thrown. Again, illegal procedure. Somebody keeps moving on that Philo line. That's the 4th one we've seen tonight, Coach.
Well, that's frustrating. I mean, this is week 4. You should have those kind of things out of your system.
But still need to get about 20 yards to put themselves in a field goal position here. Now we'll get a timeout.
Well, that doesn't bode well for a field goal attempt.
So we'll take it one last timeout in this half. 21-7 Philo trails it, but they've got the football at midfield. So 2nd down and 8 now after the illegal procedure penalty for Philo. 26 seconds left on the clock. Empty backfield. Blitz coming up the middle. Throw over the middle. I might have got a tip up there close as he was looking on the slant to Owen Smith.
There were linebackers coming in. I think you may be right, Kevin. That ball may have been tipped. It was well behind the receiver. Well, I think barring some Casey Munyon miracle run, I just don't think we're in a situation where they can run the football. They do have 2 timeouts left, but they need to gain, 10, at least 21 yards to
have a chance at the field.
Yeah, they only have 24 seconds left in the half, so this needs to go down the field.
They're going to fake, Adolph going to take it himself. Has some running room if he can get. Oh, he's going to end up
Got to call timeout. Got to
2
call
yards
timeout.
short, and we're going to get a timeout call. And we'll keep it here on this timeout. 16 seconds on the clock. It'll be 4th down and a couple to go. Next week, Coach, let's watch the replay here first. Adolph recognized right away that he'd have some room to go and got up in the air. Next week, we will travel down to one of our favorite stops at Morgan High School. Your old squad, Crooksville, will travel there. Ought to be a good one.
Nobody treats us better than the folks at Morgan.
Okay, so here's one of the things we like about that is when we're in the press box there, we're at ground level with behind, the parking lot behind us, right?
Yeah.
And they just keep passing in food, as I remember.
Yeah, they visit.
There was like some barbecue coming in.
Yeah.
There was some cookies coming in. So we're just telling the Morgan folks ahead of time, we'll be there next week.
We are available for all the hospitality they can dish out.
And I don't believe we turned anything down last time we were there, did we?
Which Kevin, we have our reputation to protect.
Exactly.
We can't be turning down. No, we don't turn things down.
So we will be at Morgan. It'll be Crooksville taking on the Raiders. Looking forward to our trip down the river. Not too far from here.
See if the Electrics can get a first down here and then try to pursue this potential score.
Munyon, they're going to fake it to him. They wanted to run a little wheel route. First down and more. Adolph gets him into field goal territory. Down to about the 23, 6 seconds on the clock.
Got to call a timeout.
So do you throw one to the end zone or do you kick the field goal?
I think you kick.
I mean, if you got a penalty in the end zone, you could run another play.
Yeah, but if you get tackled anywhere where your quarterback takes too long to throw it away, the half's over.
With 6 seconds is kind of that dividing mark of you can get maybe one throw, but to go 23 yards on the throw, I don't know.
I mean, you're not going to go 23 yards. I mean, if you want to do that, you have time to throw it in the end zone for one play.
But I don't see.
But if you're just trying to get a few more yards for your kicker, I mean, you're already in range.
I think that was their third timeout.
It is. Yeah, I mean, that was they're in range. So your decision now is either kick a field goal. I believe it's kick a field goal from there, or throw it in the end zone.
Yeah, I think their field goal guy's coming out. And the kicker, as we mentioned, is the senior Colton Stotts. Used to play a little soccer, but now dedicates himself to the football squad.
Well, if you get a good snap and a good hold, we're well within his range.
And he'll try it from 40 yards out with just 6 ticks on the clock.
That's a tall order, but we'll see.
And we're going to get a timeout on the John Glenn side just to let Mr. Stotts think about it, just a titch. We'll keep it right here. That is the last timeout that either team can call in this half.
Well, this is a big play. I mean, this is a big play. If Philo can get those 3 points, I mean, they'll carry that momentum into the halftime locker room. And Coach Linscomb can tell them, guys, we won the second quarter. All we have to do now is win the third and fourth.
And there is a long time to go.
Everything went John Glenn's way in the first half. You can tell your kids that. They scored a cheap touchdown. We gave up penalties. Second half, we can win this game. So big play.
40-yarder.
It's a tall order for the young man.
Out of the hold of Owen Smith. We're ready to go now as they put it in play. Low snap.
Boy,
well
he got
placed,
all of it.
and he hit it. Did he get it through? No, they're saying no. And Philo players kind of go palms up on it. Think you might have got through. But it was a tough snap, fielded well, put down by Owen Smith, but could not get it through. It did not miss by much, Coach.
No, it did not.
But that's the way things will end. But still momentum for Philo coming down the stretch. We will catch our breath at half. back with, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to this second half.
Oh, my, yes.
We're going to see some fun. Hope you'll stay right with us. 21-7, John Glenn leads it on the road here at Philo. Well, we've had a good one here. 21-7. That looks a little bit out of whack, but it was 21-0. Philo coach toward the end of that first half got some momentum. Not only got the score, looked like they made a field goal just a little bit left.
Just wide left, just a little bit. Low snap. The holder did a great job to get that thing on a tee. And I'm telling you, the Philo kicker, was that Stotts?
It was.
Man, I'm telling you, he's going to kick the ball. It could be on the tee, it could be on the ground, it could be in your hand. He's kicking the ball.
Yeah, he might get your hand if you're not down there. Kick goes away, and it'll go into the end zone. Score Perkins, a good kicker on the John Glenn side of it as well.
Two excellent kicking teams tonight.
But the good news for Philo fans, down 14-0, your team has found a spark, and they get the ball first here in the second half. So we'll see.
This is when, people tend to think, well, your offense has to score right now. Well, they don't need to score right now. They do need to move the ball. They do need to at least change field position, but your defense has to stand up now. Your defense cannot give up another point tonight, another touchdown, and this one could be out of reach. So Philo's defense, I'm sure Coach Linscomb and his staff stressed that at halftime. That's it. We've given up enough.
Well, and the other thing I think both coaches would have talked to their troops about is avoiding penalties in this second half. Adolph on the read will keep it, and he'll get close to a first down, maybe a couple yards short.
Nice play to start the second half.
There were some penalties in that first half, Coach, that, again, just will make you tear your hair out.
Way too many penalties. There's a little counter play at times. Left guard and tackle pulled, came blocked back to the right side. The old counter tray play.
This time he's going to hand it off. And a first down and more as Munyon will get it out over the 30-yard line.
I just get the feeling that Munyon just runs out of space, If the field is 5 yards wider, I don't think you could stop him.
No, he's, as I say, he likes to get to that edge. Some good sustained blocking to seal it. Adolph going to look to run again. This time, John Glenn in the gap.
That was the counter play again to the quarterback. That time, John Glenn's defense read it perfectly.
And a good tackle in that gap by Dylan Milstead from his middle linebacker spot. He comes out of there just.
Well, I saw him.
Looked like he might have got twisted a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like he's favoring his elbow a little bit.
So he'll come out, and Blaze Baker will come in.
Oh, he had a receiver open.
Adolph bounces off one tackler. He'll keep driving his legs, get it out over the 40. It'll be third and a little more manageable, just a couple of yards to go for a first down.
He had a receiver going right up the hash mark that was wide open. He's looking to the left. His receiver on the right was wide open.
And his first read was to the left, and then he started getting a little pressure from that left side as well. So
he did the right thing. If you don't have it, something to throw, then take off. There's the counter again.
And Adolph, good job. Nice spin in the middle of the field. And he works his way into John Glenn territory. Good drive. Right off the whistle here at the beginning of this second half.
Guard and tackle. The guard kicks out. The tackle sealed. Man, that's just like you drew up on the chalkboard. Nice job by the Philo lineman.
And if you're one of those defensive players, you want to come to that inside shoulder and avoid that spin back your way. And Adolph did a good job. And good defense. Knifing in there to get a hand first was Brady Emerson. And then it was Evan Williams to finish things off.
A little bit of a false key that time. The left guard and tackle pulled just like they had been for the counter play that comes to the right. But they kind of give the ball away. So that was kind of like that's the kind of play that really makes you look smart if it works. If it doesn't work, it means you're out there with no blocking.
And actually, I think that was Reese Perkins that finished the tackle off. So a loss on the play of 3, second down and long. Blitz coming. Adolph able to get away from the outside pressure, but he'll only be able to get it back to the line of scrimmage, setting up a 3rd and long.
Who was that? That number Number 2.
Emerson, yeah, Emerson was coming around that outside and drove him right into the hands of Marshall Tigner.
He's that unaccounted for pass rusher. You just have no one out there to block him. And he came cleanly and forced Adolph to step up and right into the teeth of the pass rush.
Milstead back in there, by the way, at his middle linebacker spot. Blitz coming right up the middle. Adolph trying to get away from the pressure. Lucky that he held on to the football. He was trying to do something extra there at the end, had the football kind of out away from his body.
I don't understand that. Well, it's a nice pass rush up the middle. He just kind of split the lineman. There's no one there to account for him, and I'm sure that in their pass blocking rules, you have to account for those 2 inside linebackers. Usually that's the guards. The center and the tackles are covered up. That's usually a guard's block. Nice drive comes to a screeching halt.
Anthony Perkins was applying the pressure on defense that time. Kick away as they try to drive it down the near sideline. It'll go to out of bounds inside the 30. Or maybe right at the 30. And that's where they'll place it. See what John Glenn can do to get some momentum back on the offensive side. They scored 3 times in the first half, all passes from quarterback Evan Williams. The first 2 went to Reese Perkins from 52 yards and then 7 yards in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, a 5-yard pass to Score Perkins. And Score Perkins hit all 3 extra points.
Well, it was a nice possession for Philo. They ran the ball better than they have all night. But what worries me about that possession is they could not protect their quarterback at all.
Williams will hand off. And not much there out over the 30-yard line as it goes to Wellmeyer.
It's that outside dive.
Maybe a yard on the play is it. And the Philo defense making some adjustments to fill the gaps.
Right now, every play is critical for Philo. Every play is critical, especially on defense. You can't let John Glenn's offense get back in this game.
Second down and long. Again, Wellmeyer. This time he finds some room, and he will work his way out over the 40 and a first down for the Muskies.
Yeah, same play as last time. Just blocked.
Good blocking at the point of attack.
Yep.
Right in the hole that time. Let's see if we can get a number for it. It looked like it was, I want to say it was Tough Zemba just because I want to say that name, but I don't know that that's right out there.
John Glenn has some of the best names we've seen on a roster all year. I mean, they got a Tough, they got a Blaze, they got a Score.
Yeah, that's getting it done right there in the name game.
Right at the middle.
Wellmeyer and Luberg in there to hit him right around the line of scrimmage. He struggles ahead for 3. Hunter Adolph able to corral him, but
5'6", 150 sophomore. Wellmeyer runs much harder than his tender years give him credit for.
Yeah, he hits the hole hard.
He runs hard.
He's one of those guys, apparently they didn't have to teach him, you don't look for the ball, you look straight ahead for the hole. Let the quarterback get the ball to you. Emerson will get it on the sweep. Cuts back in, finds a little running room.
Ball's
out. And I think Philo's on it. Second fumble of the night for John Glenn.
Yes, referees have already marked that. The John Glenn players are trying to steal the ball away, but oh, yes, number 3, Ashlyn Bailey.
And just trying to get a little bit extra. And just did not have it tucked in with that left arm. Would have been short of the first down. And Philo, the last time they picked up a fumble, they weren't able to convert, just barely missing the field goal as the half ran out.
Well, that fumble recovery does a couple things. First, it gives them the ball, of course, but it also denies John Glenn the ability to score or change the field position on them.
Adolph, quarterback run all the way, and he's got some nifty moves that'll get him inside the 40-yard line of John Glenn. This defense getting a little tired.
It looks to me like Coach Linscomb is going to let his quarterback carry this load. I mean, he's a hard runner. He's a good instinctive runner. He picked up a big play at the end of the first half. That's just the kind of guy you want to have at quarterback. I mean, he's got to take charge of this game, and right now he's doing so.
So 1st and 10 for Philo, 38-yard line in John Glenn territory.
There he is.
Holding on. He's got a receiver. He may go.
He's in.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
That's Elijah Preston. They ran a little play action. Faked it to Munyon. And they find Preston over the middle, and it's getting interesting.
Oh, baby. You know, over the years playing against Philo, good teams, bad teams, championship teams, it didn't matter. They never quit. They were ahead by 40 or down by 40. They never quit. And they're storming back into this one.
Stotts in to kick it to get it within 7. Good snap, the hold down, but it's blocked. Emerson on the outside got to it. And it'll be an 8-point, but still a 1-score lead for John Glenn. They'll get the ball back in just a moment. Up now, 21-13. Philo Electrics here at home get on the board again, cut it to a 1-possession game, 21-13 as the extra point was blocked. John Glenn, a fumble led to that, a couple of runs, and then a long pass over the middle. Very well designed play. Up the middle, that's Wellmeyer, runs into his own player on his way out over the 25. Next week, we are going to be, we'll just go a little further down the river, Coach.
Yep. Right down Route 60.
There you go. We'll be Crooksville, Coach's old squad, taking on the Morgan Raiders. Again, one of the fun places for us to do a game. I'll just say it like that.
A lot of friends in Morgan County.
Although I got to tell you, we have been taken very good care of tonight. I want to point that out specifically. Yes. Because
we can even use the AD's real name.
Kara Harris, who is the athletic director down here, just has treated us wonderfully. So John Glenn, an important drive for the Muskies. Get some good blocking out front. Emerson kind of picking his way, but he'll be stopped at the 30 after a 4-yard gain. So we thank Kara Harris and her staff and all the folks here at Philo tonight. Actually, they'll mark that back to the 29-yard line.
Emerson did well to pick up 3 yards on it. That was closed off. He just was very patient. Finally got a little bit of a seam, picked up some positive yards on first down.
Ashlyn Bailey fought off a block to get that tackle.
But Philo's defense has to stay awake for that pass play.
2nd down and 7. Wellmeyer, not much there. He'll lean forward for a couple, make it now 3rd and about 5.
You know, Philo tonight their defense has done extremely well against the running game. Where they've had their shortcoming is right now. We're going to have a man down with a cramp.
And right in the middle of the field. And we're going to take a timeout as they attend to one of the electrics. 21-13, John Glenn with the football and the 8-point lead. So after the timeout, it'll be 3rd down and 5 for John Glenn. Next week, Coach, we are going down the river just a piece. Crooksville, your old squad, taking on the Morgan Raiders. Ought to be fun.
Should be a good game.
They will take good care of us, as we mentioned earlier in this very broadcast. Also want to thank the athletic director here at Philo, Kara Harris, who she and her team here have taken great care of us. We thank them. John Glenn, important 3rd down. Finding nobody, tries to force it. It's intercepted. Intercepted in the middle of the field.
We also have an illegal man downfield, but I think that penalty is going to be declined.
Yeah, that's what the call is. And you can see, again, one of the things you are loath to do is to throw back into the middle of the field.
Well, he's trying to make something out of nothing, and that's never good.
And I believe that was, couldn't quite, I think it was Colt Perkins, which would be perfect in this game because we need another Perkins doing something. 3 of them on the John Glenn side making things happen, and now in a big interception for Philo, put the Electrics after scoring a touchdown, put them right back in business at the John Glenn 34.
See if they put the ball in Casey Munyon's hands this time.
Munyon to the right of Hunter Adolph in the backfield. Luberg in motion. It's going to be Adolph all the way running it, and he's going to push the defense ahead. He's still going. And he will have a first down with that second effort. But just short. Just short.
Well, he was the guy who came out with the leg cramp in the last defensive series, but just prior to the interception. Right now, we're getting a good offensive line push from the Electrics. Man, they are pushing people backwards.
And just not quitting. So second down in a yard. See if Adolph calls his own number. No, he's going to give it to Munyon, and he'll dance outside.
Did you see him put the brakes on?
That is a skill that nobody in my family's ever had, so I respect it. When you can just stop on a dime and go another direction. Munyon did that time for the first down. You can see here, Coach, exactly what you – boop.
Oh, not there.
Then he'll get a stiff arm. And
Nice effort.
1st and 10 at the John Glenn 22-yard line.
That's when you do everything right on defense and the guy still gains yardage.
Munyon in motion. Quick throw out into the flat. Makes one player miss. Ball's on the ground. It's actually picked up on the bounce by Reese Perkins. And that is a huge turn of events.
Yes, it is.
In this football game.
Got to protect that football. That extra yard is important, but more important to keep that football protected.
He just had it away from his body.
Yep.
And knocked away from him by Blade Barkley. And then a fortunate hop for John Glenn went right to Reese Perkins.
Ooh.
And he's finally brought down out over the 20-yard line.
You know,
actually, I'll put it between the 20 and the 21.
I have a feeling one of these teams is going to watch the film tomorrow, and it's going to be the what could have been game.
Yeah.
And it could be either team.
Because Philo was going in for what could have been a tying score along with a two-pointer.
John Glenn has to reignite this offense, and I think they're going to have to throw it to do so.
Yeah, they've gone away from passing it. Well, the last pass was actually an interception, and maybe that's colored the thinking a little bit, but they had such success in the first half, Coach.
Well, and they were throwing the ball over the middle to whoever. I know they threw one over the middle to Perkins, a couple of them. Then they threw, I think, to Glob the next time. So they've gotten completely away from that.
4 yards on the carry by Wellmeyer. And Philo playing press coverage all the way around the field, right up on the receiver. And bouncing off a tackler, getting it out close to the 30. Be a couple of yards short of the first down at the 29.
Well, this game, it could well boil down to who has the most gas left in the tank when this thing's over.
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter.
Both these
they're
teams
just playing at a breakneck pace. And every play is critical for both sides.
A lot of these players going both ways, so
it is exhausting when you're playing defense like this, where you can't afford a single mistake. But it's just as tiring on offense when you're trying to hang on to a lead.
Anthony Perkins, the running quarterback, back in there. He's going to hand it off Emerson, and Emerson will be close. Depends which foot they put it down there with.
Philo's going to a four-man front. They're marking fourth down.
I think he's just short. We're going to get a timeout for a measurement. Let's keep it here. The John Glenn staff running out onto the field complaining about the placement of the football.
I think Coach Edwards better watch out.
And I'm not sure he got it. But you can see the discussion going on that side. And again, that is the head coach, Matt Edwards, out there discussing it with the referee.
Well, the last time we saw a referee discussing something with the John Glenn coach, then he discussed it with the Philo coach, and I thought it was going to be my birthday before we got home, and I'm born in July.
24 minutes last year. That doesn't sound like a lot when you say it. It seemed like 24 hours. And did he get it? He did.
First down.
So you can just nix that discussion over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's thank you very much. We're good. So you saw that put the stick down right in the middle of the football, so didn't get a lot extra, but got enough. 1st and 10 for John Glenn out at the 31. Philo, a couple of new guys onto the field, a couple of guys off. It looks like Williams back in there, quarterback.
Yep.
And it's Emerson in the backfield with him. Using all of the play clock on this one. And Emerson off left tackle and falls ahead for a couple. Not a lot there.
Those are hard yards right now. And he fought hard just to get away from the line of scrimmage. I think he's hit right here. He is. Right. Yeah. He still has his feet on the stripe, and he's being hit. So nice effort that time by Emerson. It's time for your seniors to stand up, and that's what they have in the backfield with Williams and Emerson.
Clock under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter, 2nd and 8. And John Glenn not in a hurry as they get to the line of scrimmage and then make their calls. And then Williams will lean in and let the lineman know what he wants. And he's going to throw it and a bubble screen, and we're going to get interference.
Well, if he's not across the line of scrimmage, it's not interference.
You know, I think it was close, Coach.
But if he's across the line of scrimmage, it is interference.
And they're going to call, that's exactly what they're going to talk about over there. Because it was close.
Most screen passes are behind the line, but that was really tight.
It definitely was contact during the pass.
Definitely contact.
And they're going to wave it off.
Yeah.
You called it right, Coach. He was behind the line.
Well, we always taught our defensive ends
take a look at it.
that there's no such thing as pass interference behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, yeah, he's behind the line.
Yeah, he was back at the 30. He was well behind it.
Smart play by the Philo defender.
Sometimes you get the feeling the referee's going to call it so that they can discuss it, at least have it on the table.
If you don't call it and you make a no call and you miss it, that's you can't go back from that one hardly. Okay,
so
when we have a 3rd and 8.
They got it right. And
Big
it's
play.
3rd down and 8. Clock stopped at 1:14 to go in the third quarter after the incomplete pass. Emerson in motion. They fake to him. They look further down the field, and Reese Perkins looking for interference. Referee says, nope, good coverage is what that was.
If they would have called interference on that, it would have been on Perkins. He pushed off a little bit, it looked like to me.
Yeah, and Preston was the guy in coverage. He did a nice job.
Yes, he did. He kept his position.
You can see he doesn't make any move. That's well done. He just had superior position on that.
His arms were not extended. So that was a good no call. If they called it on Perkins, I think that may have been a little shaky too. But no, there's no interference on that one.
Just well done. So the clock stops 1:07.
Now, another critical part of the game, sometimes I think a lot of people overlook. Field this punt. If you don't field the punt, you lose maybe 10 or even more yards. See, get this thing caught. Oh, he's going to punt that thing away.
Preston is back, and he kills that punt. Although it bounces back toward Preston.
Get away from it.
He'll still let it roll. It'll go all the way down to the 14-yard line. Well done.
Well done. Excellent.
By Emerson.
Great execution on the special teams.
So Philo down a score. They were moving it last time, and then a fumble. Gave it back to John Glenn, who then flips the field position. And those are the kind of things that don't show up in the scorebook, but are really important.
Well, you know, if Philo had executed perfectly on their special teams, the score would be 21-17 right now, and they'd be within, one score of going ahead. So they missed a field goal and they missed an extra point.
So Hunter Adolph going all the way at quarterback. He'll put Preston in motion and then hand off up the middle. That's Luberg. He'll bring it out over the 20-yard line. About 2 or 3 yards short of the first down, but a good first down play.
Philo has found a running game here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they like something between the tackles for sure, and they'll go there again. And it'll be close as that Luberg carries for the first time in the previous play and follows it up with a carry. And it will be close. Are they going to measure?
Well, he needed to get to the 24.
And he is right there.
I think they're going to mark that a first down.
And they are going to measure again. So we'll keep it here
Brandon
while
Sticks.
they do. They'll bring it a little further this time as they're on the far sideline. Again, there's no rest in this next few weeks for Philo as they've got Sheridan and then Tri-Valley coming up. All these teams undefeated in the league coming into this week.
I think it's going to be a very interesting race in the MVL this year.
And it is just a little bit
Inches.
short, but it'll be third down and very short. Sheridan in a non-conference game tonight against Logan.
You know, when I arrived in the MVL back in a different century, we had a 10-team league. You played one non-league game in week one. And it was a brutal 9 weeks for the league play. But I think now, when you have to take a week away from that league competition, I think there's some negatives about that too. I mean,
Yeah, I think it makes it
get
tough.
Banged up, and then come back into league play. It's tough.
Be interesting to see what they do with that next year when they go to divisions in the MVL. Hunter Adolph calls his own number, and I think he gets enough for the first down. He needed just a couple of inches, and he got about half a yard, so Philo keeps the drive going.
Well, it looked like J.D. German made a big impression on him for that half-yard gain. Nice hit, nice tackle.
And they can let the clock run out, and they do. That will end the third quarter. The only team getting on the board in this second half are the home Philo Electrics on a 38-yard pass from Hunter Adolph, and he found Preston in the middle of the field to go those 38 yards. 21-13, Philo with the football, trailing by 8. Back with fourth quarter action after this timeout. Philo gets the first down out almost to their 25-yard line. They trail it by 8, but they'll keep this drive going. And Adolph, who's called his own number a few times, is upended.
Wow.
For a loss. Getting in there was Josh Connor.
That's going to be, that would definitely be on the John Connor highlight reel.
Yeah, he's a senior.
Josh Connor.
He beats a block and up in the air. He kind of came up into it after fighting off that block. That's the kind of plays you need your seniors to make in a game like this. He came from that outside, kind of a DN/linebacker spot in that.
Yep.
Well, he's up on the line now. They're playing 4 up front. And we got a whistle in the middle, and that umpire's been busy in the middle of the field.
Wow.
Another illegal procedure. That's
at least 4, if not 5.
I think you're exactly right. And it's tough to see up here, but he does not hesitate to make the call. So it'll be after the loss and then the penalty.
I mean, it's not an obvious penalty because I don't think I've seen.
It's got to be a twitch or something.
Man, I mean, I haven't seen one.
Yeah, nobody's moving forward that we can see. Maybe somebody's lifting a hand. Throw on the flat is caught, but down right away. And not getting up quickly is Elijah Preston, and he's got a cramp. And on the play, maybe a gain of a couple. It'll lead to a third down and long as they see if he'll stay down for a moment. But, yeah, they're working on that right calf.
Well, you mentioned earlier how comfortable of a day it was or evening for the game to be played. But I think this game has been so intense.
Yeah,
it's just been played at a breakneck pace.
There you see head coach Dirk Lincecum talking to his troops.
And if you didn't take in enough water this week, you're going to pay for it.
Of course, Lincecum, a good player at Ashland University. I know it's hard to believe when you look at him, but he was a linebacker, Coach.
Oh, he was not hard for me to realize. I mean, I saw him play.
And he's got a couple of sons that are coming up through the ranks here, a freshman and then I believe a sixth grader.
He's got a guy on his staff named Pat Henry that was their wingback. And I was ready to take that to court. You shouldn't have anybody as brutal as Pat Henry was at wingback.
Wingback.
I mean, he knocked a lot of parts loose for my defensive ends.
Well, one of the marks of this Philo team over the years is their toughness. There's no doubt about that. This squad is no exception. They got to find themselves, however, in a tough spot. 3rd down and about 16 to go.
Wow.
Almost 17.
Well, this is a great opportunity here for John Glenn's defense to get the ball back for their offense in great field position.
On the play action, having to scramble, Hunter Adolph throws it down on the sideline, and it's going to be nobody. A lot of players over there had a chance at it.
Yep.
But good defense, too.
Okay, here we go.
So looking to punt it will be Philo.
They've had great punt coverage tonight. They haven't given up any run backs in the punting game, despite some punts being really close to being line drive punts. We'll see if they can do it again. Right now, they can't afford to give up a big run back here. Single setback. There's 2 setbacks back there now. Okay, here we go.
And kicking the football.
Awfully hard
Owen
to kick away
Smith.
from.
Plenty of time. And he'll hit it near sideline. Gets a decent bounce. Reese Perkins going to let it roll. It'll stop at about the 41. So good field position for John Glenn.
That may be as good as Philo could have done on that.
Now they've got some speed potentially on the return back there, as both Reese Perkins and Hayden Glob, as we've talked about tonight, those guys can play a little bit.
Well, I saw one of the coaches on the sideline making himself a target for the punter. Punt the ball to me, punt the ball to me.
And he did exactly that.
He did.
So John Glenn with the 8-point lead will start their first drive of this 4th quarter.
4th quarter, who wants it most, boys? Who wants it most?
Evan Williams has gone most of the way tonight at quarterback. He's the passing guy, the kind of the field general guy. And he's in there now, and he'll hand off to Wellmeyer. Wellmeyer got hit hard. It looked like he was going to go a little bit more, and all of a sudden his momentum just stopped.
And I want to go on record right now saying, in deference to your mother, who wants it more?
Thank you.
Because I know she will deliver
she is a retired English teacher.
She is.
I would point out that my mom, Peggy, though, is perhaps the biggest fan of Coach in our viewing area. So we say hi to her. We're probably not allowed to do that. So I didn't do that, but I did.
Yes.
Because she also will be calling me right after this broadcast with notes, which I'm glad to take because she knows her stuff. 2nd down and 8.
That's a lateral.
And
that's a loss.
Philo defense was right on top of it. Hunter Adolph got there first, kind of ran interference for Luberg, who then got the tackle. And it's a loss back inside the 40-yard line. 3rd down and 12, and that was a big defensive play for the Electrics.
Philo's defense has rallied from the start of this game. The first quarter, I'm sure they'll look at that as a disaster film. They've done a great job. They need to do it one more time.
Emerson in the backfield this time with Williams. Williams going through his progression.
Ball's
on
out.
The field. I think John Glenn got back on it. There's a flag down, but I don't think that he was meant. I don't think he meant to throw his fumble, the beanbag. Yeah, he's going to wave it off there. He was trying to get the blue beanbag thrown out for the fumble. John Glenn gets back on it, but it'll be 4th down. And the referee kind of laughing with the Philo coaching staff about the fact that he just started taking things out of his belt and just kind of throwing them everywhere.
Yeah, those guys are tricky.
And now we've got another
great job by the Electrics again.
Conference going on. And nope, we're all set. 4th down and about 13. So it'll be Emerson to kick it away. Last time, he had a whale of a punt.
Well, the Electrics only have one deep man, and that makes it easy for Emerson to kick it where he's not.
John Glenn goes with a couple back there.
Usually the rule of thumb is you never kick the ball across the field on a punt. You kick it down the sideline, kick it down your hash mark.
That's Preston back there. This time,
that's a short
punt.
Look out, look out.
Philo's got to be careful. John Glenn gets a little bit of a bounce to take it down to the 30-yard line, just a little bit inside the stripe.
Well, I think that's a special teams mistake there. Kick the ball across the field, kick it short. It's not good.
And
you kick that right down to Philo's sideline. There was no one standing there.
So Philo will start at their 30.
Character drive time.
Just over 8 minutes to go in regulation in this one.
Character drive time for the Electrics.
And by the way, all the touchdowns tonight have been passes. There was a day you could not say that about the MVO.
No. Look out.
Good running play here.
Look out.
That's Munyon, and he'll be carried out of bounds just shy of midfield, actually at the 47. And that's what the doctor ordered for Philo. Munyon ahead of steam around the edge.
Smart play that time by Reese Perkins for John Glenn. He was the man who ran Munyon out of bounds. And
just good blocking.
He was real tempted to fling him, but he pulled off and thought, no, don't want to do that. Good
Carson
call.
Kearns helping lead the play out that way. Good block by the receiver. So big first down. And Adolph going to hang on to it, just grabbing his arm and hanging on. Good tackle right around the line of scrimmage by Ben Judd. This is uncomfortable when it's your quarterback's passing arm. But that's what Judd was able to grab hold of.
Well, he gave Adolph the read to keep the ball, but then recovered quickly enough to make the tackle. That's a nice play.
We got a player down for Philo. We'll take a timeout. Philo with the ball to be 2nd down and 10, just short of midfield when we come back. Nick Savage was the player down. He'll actually walk off under his own power. So we hope he is okay. Big 2nd down coming up for Philo just inside their own territory. And we got some discussion going on with the head coach just down the bottom of your screen there. That's Dirk Linscomb talking to the referee and the side judge. Not sure what they're talking about.
I have no idea what they could be talking about.
I mean, Coach Linscomb is not really animated in what he's talking about, but he is insistent, whatever it is. And you know, still anything shy of 24 minutes is okay, which is, again, what we did last year. And I would put that up nationwide to see if there'd ever been a longer call than that.
Well, when we saw the referee walk the length of the field and open a briefcase at the opposite end zone and sit down and start reading the playbook, it did not bode well for the game.
So whatever the discussion was here, they've agreed, and we are ready to go on. 4th quarter action, just under 8 minutes to go in regulation in this one.
I wonder if they had to do with the football, because Coach Linscomb had a football under his arm.
Yeah, it was strange. Quick pass in the flat, and I think it'll be just short of the 1st down.
Clock's going to run. Timing pattern, thrown right on the money.
Carson Kearns, the receiver.
I mean, that was a ball the only receiver could have fielded. That was defensive back had no chance to make a play on that ball.
I'm not sure he got the best spot in the world either.
No,
I think he might have been another yard, but we'll leave that for another time. 3rd down and 2 instead of 1. And Coach Linscomb was asking the side judge, I think, just that, and we hear a couple other people in the crowd, so we might have been right about that. Adolph going to run the quick
It's gonna be a
pitch,
pass.
looking to throw. Nope, Munion's going to hold on to it, and he's going to be snowed under.
He's thrown for a loss. I think that was going to be a halfback pass. He had a man all the way down the field. Looks like number 2, Preston, was running a pass pattern down the field.
But Hayden Glob was with him.
Yep. John Glenn is having none of it.
So 4th down, and I think you're going to see a punt, just field
Yeah.
position. We got a long way to go, 6:29. You don't make it here, you don't want to.
Coach Linscom's
You don't want to end the game here.
He's going to depend on his defense to get a stop, get the ball back.
Well, they've been pitching a shutout in this second half. They've been getting the job
Whoa,
done.
look out.
And looking to go for it. Nope, now he'll kick it. That was well done. And then it's going to be stopped at the 1-yard line. That's about as well as you can do it right there.
Your head coaching IQ goes way up on a call like that. Nice execution.
The punt from Owen Smith. Now, here's one of the interesting things about that play. We've seen this a number of times where the punter will run, and you think, well, now he's fair game. If he's still trying to kick it and you hit him, it's still roughing the punter.
Yep.
And so we've seen that sometimes that the defense loses track of that, and they go after him. He gets the kick, gets hit. Sometimes you can invite that penalty. What you hope then is he can get it away, and in this case, he gets it away all the way down inside the 1-yard line.
That's a tough one to ask your punter to take one for the team.
Yeah, boy, because he is on an island out there.
Oh, baby. All right.
But you could not draw that up in terms of the punting game any better than that right there.
Well, here's a great place for the Philo defense to go for 2. That ball is going to be 6 yards deep in the end zone on the snap.
And we're going to get a timeout called by John Glenn as they decide how they want to proceed in this very precarious position. 21-13, the only scoring in this half coming from Philo. We'll take a quick timeout. Be right back. First down and 10 for John Glenn, but every player on the field except for maybe the center will have part of their body in the end zone. Williams, a quarterback, they try to draw people off sides. Did it work?
Yes, it did.
And it did. And that is frustrating for the Philo Electrics. Because you know that's what they just went over and talked about. He's been going all game on that clap.
Yep.
That time he tells his team, do not move a muscle. They didn't, Philo did, and a little bit of breathing room.
Mental mistake.
So 1st down and 5 now. And in there is Perkins, Anthony Perkins, the running quarterback of the duo, and he'll be out about a yard away. And they keep moving the pile around, but I don't think he moved any more north and south in that
like
pile.
A scrum.
It's going to be 2nd down and about a yard. And Anthony Perkins goes down hard, and he came out a little bit earlier in this game. Good to see him back out there, but he'll come back off the field now, 2nd and 1. And Philo would not only like to drive the ball as far as they can, they'd like to take up a lot of the clock because we're about 5.5 minutes away from the end of regulation.
Clock running. Coach Linscomb gambled on his defense, getting a quick stop done here.
And John Glenn not in a hurry as the play clock goes down under 10.
Doing a nice job with that play clock.
Under center, and the quarterback sneak and a 1st down. We have not seen him under center tonight, have we, Coach?
No, we haven't. I saw some college teams. I saw a college team lose a game because their quarterback came under center to take a snap to run the clock out, and he fumbled the ball.
Because just not used to being under.
Not used to being under the center.
And that's so you don't get your hands far enough apart, you can break a thumb in there.
Yep.
But it is a 1st down, well executed by the non-running quarterback, Williams.
You know, Philo's going to get Jongo's going to get a new set of downs and run that clock down, whether they get a 1st down now or not. They can run that clock down to probably under the 3-minute mark.
And a fake on the jet sweep, and then a hit in the middle, like right now.
Now, you want to use your timeouts now for Philo, or are you going to keep them? Once that time gets away, it's gone.
I think that was Hunter Seitz on the hit.
That was quite the hit.
And that was a big-time hit.
Second down, about 14, almost 15 yards.
I'll tell you, when you lose 4 yards on a handoff straight ahead.
Well, you know, your running back is standing behind a quarterback who's 4 or 5 yards deep himself. So, you know, that's equivalent to the old I formation when that tailback was 8 or 9 yards deep sometimes.
That's exactly right. Williams, Emerson
Whoa,
to his right.
Look out, look out.
That could be trouble, and he's going to take the safety. That's an alert play by Williams.
Yes, it was.
Just to lose a couple of points. But now, that 2-point extra point unnecessary.
That's right.
If Philo can get it into the end zone.
Oh, baby.
In fact, they just need a single point, extra point, to get into the lead if they should get into the end zone. And it'll be a free kick for John Glenn, but give Williams some credit for jumping on that football. That could have easily been a touchdown because he had no help in the backfield.
None.
It was an empty set as Emerson had gone in motion. And now they'll kick it away from, I believe it's the 20.
Well, did John Glenn score all their points in the first quarter?
No, they had one
That's right,
touchdown
they had one
in the very beginning of the second quarter.
That's right.
So they had finished scoring with 9:30 to go in the first half.
Wow. And they haven't really threatened.
And they didn't look like they were going to slow down.
Oh, I know. It looked like it was going to be a rout.
But since that time, Philo has not exactly cashed in on all their opportunities, but they have changed the momentum. And there, Williams alertly jumps on the football, but Philo going to get it with good field position because the free kick, you can either kick it off the tee or you can punt it from the 20. But they're going to have scorer Perkins kick it, so he gets a little more distance on it.
Well, the Electrics all moved up, and they were bunched up close to the 30-yard line expecting a trick play from John Glenn. Smart, heady play by the special teams for Philo.
To recognize the possibilities. Yep. Perkins will hit it, and he gets a good leg into it all the way down to the 18-yard line. And some good blocking on the edge. And a nice run back, almost all the way back to the 50-yard line.
Oh, baby.
On the return, Trey Wilson.
I'd say the Electrics had the batteries fully charged, baby. They're ready to roll. Midfield. Well executed, no penalties on that return. Nice job. Plenty of time, 3:56. It's going to go right down to the wire.
They are going to mark it. Let's see, we've got another discussion. It is going to be right at midfield. We had a flag down. They're going to wave that off.
These guys need to tie those hankies into their pockets.
Just things keep flying. Actually, they'll put it to 49. And on the far sideline, they make it first down and 11. Now they'll move the sticks. First down and 10.
One way or the other, guys. Come on. All right, here we go.
Pretty big drive here. Just under 4 minutes to go in this one. Adolph calls his own number. So he keeps it on the read coming off that jet sweep. And we do have a flag on the far side. A helmet came off as Elijah Preston will have to put it back on. Let's see if that's a face mask. Somebody pulled it off of him. And it is going to be personal foul against John Glenn.
You know,
and that is wrong time.
Oh, my. That's what led to Philo's first scores. 2 major penalties against the John Glenn defense. Now they made another one.
That is exactly right.
Personal foul and a hit out of bounds. That opening their first touchdown in the first half. Wow.
And it looked like whatever happened, it was on the far edge out there.
Yeah.
And Adolph going to hang on again after faking to Munyon inside the 35. Actually, they started at the 34, so he gets it. We'll call it the 32, a couple of yards on the play. I would say this is 4-down territory here.
Well, this is where your field goal kicker can take his helmet off and take a break, because his field goal is not going to be coming to play here.
They'll need him for the extra point to get the win.
That's
if they can punch it in. So 2nd down and 8. Clock ticks down to the 3-minute mark. And we're going to get offsides on John Glenn. Couple of penalties against the Muskies.
I think Philo's players need to kind of regain their poise here a little bit. You know, settle down. It's a 5-yard penalty. You didn't win the lottery. You still got to get a touchdown here. Calm down, boys. 2nd
down and 3 now. That gives you some more options on this play call, Coach.
Yes, it does.
Maybe you take a chance here.
I know I'm off my stool, but this is stand-up time now. I don't have to worry about getting hit in the head with Tom's camera at this angle.
Snap back, the fake. Hunter Adolph hanging on and holding on to him, although he breaks away. And he'll have the 1st down and more. Inside the 25, down to the 22.
What an effort. What an effort.
Ben Judd had him by the jersey. And he couldn't end up hanging on, and Emerson had to hang on after that. Big 1st down for Philo.
Somebody for John Glenn's defense needs to make a big play here.
Down at the 22-yard line.
Coach Lindstrom is not giving him much chance. I mean, he's keeping the ball in his quarterback's hands here.
Empty backfield in motion, and somebody moved early.
Yep.
So another procedure penalty against Philo. Make it 1st down and 15 out over the 25.
So you have 4 downs to get 15 yards. You have 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game.
See if we can see who jumped here.
It's left tackle.
Yep, just took a left low early.
That's why I say you gotta keep your poise now. Just maintain your poise on offense, and on defense, someone has to step up and make a big play.
In motion was Preston. He'll get it. And keeps driving his legs, but took 4 or 5 Muskies to get him. And again, people just need to get away as everybody heads to the Philo bench.
Well, the referee on the sideline may have called a penalty for hit out of bounds on Philo, but the Philo player blocked the John Glenn defender into the referee, and he couldn't see the play.
You see just a scrum over there. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. And I think we're going to have a sideline warning called.
They're readjusting the clock.
Let's see where we are. It's 1:39 on the clock itself.
It was 1:33, so they've already made a change. Okay.
So 2nd down and 10.
Philo's going to get this thing in the end zone. They're going 2 yards at a time. They're going to run out of time at that pace.
Munyon, the fake, pressure up the middle. Hunter Adolph going to run with it, and he'll get down to about the 16-yard line.
Boy, he was one man from being gone.
He's going to be a few yards shy of the 1st down. It'll be
Clock
a big
is running.
3rd down play. Philo has all 3 of their timeouts. So 3rd down and 4, Munyon. Fake, Adolph going to keep it, and he's going to be short.
He's going to be well short. They're going to have to call a timeout here.
And he needs about 2.5 yards as they'll put it on the 15. Timeout called by Philo. We'll take it. They've played this whole game just to get to this point.
That's right.
21-15. John Glenn leads it, but Philo on the threshold. A big 4th down coming up. Philo takes their first time out of this 2nd half, and they did it to plan things out. They got to go about 2.5 yards, Coach, on this 4th down play to keep it going.
I don't think we're going to see halfback pass.
Adolph is the quarterback. Luberg will be in the backfield with him on his left side, kind of a blocking back.
Yep.
And it'll be Munyon behind him. They'll move Luberg to the right. And he's going to roll and look to throw. Did he catch it? He did not. He had it for a moment, and then great defense knocked it away.
What a play by the John Glenn defensive back. That was a first down all the way.
That was a great play call. They
Yes,
had
it
Luberg.
was.
They move him over. Looks like he's just going to block. Little play action. And then the ball is stripped away. And John Glenn going to take over on downs at their 15-yard line. Philo still with a couple of timeouts. 1:02 on the clock. But I don't think mathematically that's going to work out.
Philo's going to look at this game and for a long time, and they're going to be in the same situation that John Glenn was coming in. They're going to have to play next week and not let John Glenn beat them 2 weeks in a row, and they have a tough opponent coming up.
Let's see how John Glenn plays it here. The play clock running down to 15 now. They're still huddled up on the side. They've got a couple of timeouts coming. Maybe they'll take one here. As Matt Edwards said, my guess is that's what they're going to do. Play clock down to 1, and they'll take it. We'll keep it here for the moment and tell you next week we will head down to Morgan High School in McConnellsville. Lots of M's down there with Malta and Morgan and McConnellsville, Muskingum River.
Yes, it is.
Bingo. After all that. But we'll be down. The Raiders will be hosting a team you know a little bit about, the Crooksville Ceramics. We'll head down that way.
Head coach Casey Valley trying to rally the troops. They had high hopes coming into this season. 16 seniors on the squad. They've dropped their first 3 games and given up a bunch of points.
But they've scored some too.
Yes, they have.
So they can put points on the board. And Morgan giving up some points tonight to West Muskingum. So we may just watch them run up and down the field all night.
Could be one of those Mountain West type games.
Exactly.
75-73.
But again, we like hanging out down there at Morgan, so we look forward to that. Hope you can join us next week. Got a little bit to go in this one, but it was a big 4th down stop by the John Glenn defense on what looked to be a complete pass for a first down, but just stripped away by a linebacker for John Glenn.
Well, that's the big play we were talking about. Somebody on defense has to step up and make a big play in that situation, and they certainly did.
John Glenn has fumbled a couple times. They need to hang on to it here. And just up the middle, nothing fancy. Philo will take the time out. Again, we'll keep it here. They've got a couple. And they were able to call that with 59 seconds. Keep in mind the play clock is 40. So it is possible that John Glenn will have to punt it away with a few seconds left. Question is, do you just run back and run around the end zone and run out of the back of the end zone? Already a safety in this one.
Absolutely.
Heads up play by Evan Williams earlier in the game. He was alone in the backfield at his quarterback spot in the shotgun and went through his hands into the end zone. He alertly got on it and saved giving up a touchdown. Instead, 2 points for Philo. So you just put your fastest guy back there. I've always wanted to see that. I've never seen that in a game that I've covered.
Really?
Where they have a fastest guy back there and just have him run around, play keep away.
Usually you just step on the end line and reduce the suspense.
Yeah, I kind of like the suspense. So we'll see how John Glenn plays it.
And you never were paid by a school board to be a coach, were you?
No, exactly.
That's right.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And they try to draw the offsides. Now they'll readjust as Philo discipline. And now it'll go, again, just up the middle. A loss on the play, but and a timeout. This is Philo's last timeout of this second half. You can see they're just sending everybody. They know what's coming. Hunter Adolph around the edge there to get the tackle. So on the clock, 54 seconds. So there's going to be, you would think, under 10 seconds because the play ought to take a few seconds and then the 40 seconds will run, so it'll be under 10 seconds. But the way, and you're talking about maybe stepping out. These return guys for both teams are too good. I don't know that I'd give them a chance to return one either.
Well, I'm already thinking, punt block. That's if you're.
Oh,
Philo,
sure, you're bringing everybody.
If you force John Glenn, if they have to punt the ball away, you don't have anybody back. You go for the punt block.
So we'll see what John Glenn's head coach, Matt Edwards, draws up here. And hanging on to the football is the most important part of this whole thing.
Oh, baby. Yes, it is.
So teams have consulted with their head coaches.
A lot of mistakes by both teams tonight, but it didn't take away from the excitement, Kevin.
Oh, it did not. This has been a good one. We expected as much.
Another chapter in this rivalry that's really blooming here in the MVL.
Williams is going to jockey around a little bit, and then he'll be pulled down around the 6-yard line. And right now it is a 7-second differential.
Well, Philo already has a man back, so they may go for a return here.
So in 7 seconds, 25 now on the scoreboard clock, now 20 seconds, 13 on the play clock. John Glenn does have a timeout, so they can call it with 1 second to go. And that's what they're going to do. We're going to take this last one, as we'll see what happens. This final, and there's 8 seconds on the clock as it turns out. 21-15. We'll see maybe one exciting play left. Stay with us. So 8 seconds left in regulation in this one. Emerson is the punter. Let's see if he actually tries to kick it away. Philo with 2 receivers back. Or maybe he'll walk out of the back of the end zone.
Well, on most punts, Philo's only had 1 guy back, so they must have a punt return set.
Emerson sets his troops. Now he's going to run around. Now he'll go out with 3 seconds. So now it's 21-17. And now you get the free kick from the 20. It'll all come down to this free kick.
And you look at the 4 points you lost in the kicking game if you're Philo. Missed field goal and a missed extra point.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have taken the safety.
No, they wouldn't
if that had been that. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. So last time, the last safety we had by John Glenn, it was Score Perkins kicking off from the 20, and he belted it down past the 20-yard line the other direction. So
does Philo have the Music City Miracle playing?
That's the question. Let's say, are there any trombones in the end zone? That was the old Stanford play, right?
Yep.
Now, there's a couple ways you could approach this, too, is just try to kick a line drive up the middle.
Right. Kick that squib kick.
Make somebody make a decision who
That's
hopefully
right.
they'll down it if you're Philo.
Yep.
Then you throw a Hail Mary.
Clock will not start until a member of Philo touches the ball.
3 ticks on the clock left in this one.
So if he kicks it deep, do you tell your guy to take the fair catch?
No, because I can't. They're not going to Hail Mary from that far
No.
away. You'd have to run the old hook and lateral and lateral and lateral and lateral.
You'd have to have an entire fire department to run that shot.
Well, let's see how they draw it up. These are the things that coaches talk about at seminars all the time right here.
Oh, yeah. This
There was the old Kelly Clarkson. You remember that? We used to call it the Kelly Clarkson play, and that was you catch the ball, and if you call the fair catch, you can spot kick it from there through the goalposts.
Well, also
that would not a play here, but because you only get 3. And it is a line drive.
Don't touch it. Down it. Down it.
And it's going to have to be played, and they will down it right away. Only 1 tick of the clock, but that is about as good as you can do if you're John Glenn, because You got a second off the clock, and this is a very long play that has to develop.
Oh, my.
And John Glenn going to put a couple of fast guys deep, including Reese Perkins, who might be one of the faster guys on that side of the field.
I think we're going to see some safeties in a different zip code than the defensive line.
So here we go. Barring a penalty, this will do it.
Saw my old the original play-by-play man tonight, Aaron Sprague.
That's right.
He was down there with storied rivals.
We were bookending you today.
This be a great one for his
oh yeah, this
film clips.
Got a bunch of good plays in this one. So here we go. 4 wide to the left, 1 to the right. And they'll throw it over the middle, and it's incomplete, and that'll do it. And there was nobody behind him, so he was going to have to do it on his own anyway. So John Glenn will pull it out tonight, Coach. Just like how we expected that it would be.
Well, I mean, it was all John Glenn in the first half and all Philo in the second half. What a game. What a game.
You got to expect that John Glenn, boy, they were getting a little spooked after last week losing a close one and jumping out in the lead, and then Philo fighting all the way back.
Boy, this is a tough one to take. You know, and Philo is right where John Glenn was a week ago on Friday night. Tough loss, and they got to come back and play a tough team next Friday night. So we'll see how the Electrics bounce back. See if they can do the same thing that John Glenn did.
John Glenn scored the first 21 points in this one, and then Philo fought back, scored the next 17, but came up 4 short. That will do it for us tonight. Again, the final score here at Sam Hatfield Stadium, 21-17, John Glenn over Philo. For my broadcast partner, the coach, Doug Clifford, I'm Kevin Rao. Good night, everyone. We are live at Sam Hatfield Stadium in Duncan Falls, Ohio. Philo goes down to defeat 21-17 tonight, but that doesn't really tell the story tonight, Coach. We had a great one.
Oh, it was a great game, back and forth. Story of the first half, story of the second half. It's a great game.
You can see the scoring started out. Reese Perkins gets the pass from Evan Williams. Great block out in front, and into the end zone he goes, and kind of shocked the crowd as they were settling in. Then on the next drive, right back at it to Reese Perkins, able to get a foot down, Coach.
After a fumble recovery.
So took advantage. Then at the beginning of the second quarter, the scoring rounded out for John Glenn. That score Perkins getting the pass. So it was all Perkins all the time. In fact, Score Perkins made all 3 extra points. But Philo came right back.
Nice play, slant pattern. Zach made a great catch on that thing.
That was Zach Giannatino. And then a beautifully designed play splits the zone defense. And that's Preston on his way to the end zone. We had a couple of safeties after that. One of them, the punter walking out the back as play wound down. But Philo fought back. 17 straight points, had a chance at the very end, just a 4th down play deep in John Glenn territory. Couldn't cash in on it.
Well, that's what Coach Linscom's going to have to sell to his team. You know, we had to come out and be the second half team next week when the game starts, not the first half team.
So it was exciting here tonight for Philo. Now this is the first of 3 weeks where they then face Sheridan and Tri-Valley. They're going to need to bounce back.
Oh, they're going to need to bounce back big time and quickly. Hopefully they came through the game without any injuries, and they just have to get their helmets back on and go back to work. That's
all you can do. Now, there are other big games around the area tonight. Let's take a look at those scores, and we can tell you in one of the greats, just let's stay right here with this, because West Muskingum gets the win over Morgan. And for West Muskingum, it has been since 2015 since they have put a win on the board. A big night for the Tornadoes.
Congratulations, Tornadoes. That's any win is a great win, especially this one.
And they did it. And it was back and forth. We'll be at Morgan. We'll tell you a little bit more about that for next week. Next on the board, Tri-Valley, not unexpected. They get a big win tonight over Crooksville, 42-0. Tri-Valley rolls on. Sheridan had a little bit closer a game than they wanted to tonight. Haven't quite got that offense untracked yet, Coach. 14-7 in a non-conference game at Logan. And then finally, Maysville, New Lex came into this undefeated, but they hadn't had the hardest of schedules. Maysville really the first team to give them a challenge. It was a good game, and Maysville came out on top.
Yes, they did. New Lexington's going to be averaging 58 or 59 points per game coming into this week.
So next week, you see where we'll be. We'll go down to Morgan, just a little bit down the river from here in Duncan Falls, as Crooksville, your old squad coach, will come down there. Morgan scored a lot of points tonight, but on the losing side. Crooksville can put some points on the board, too. We may have a track meet down there next week.
Well, it should be an interesting game, and both teams anxious for their first win.
Well, we had a lot of fun. We knew this was going to be big. The last 3 games, they played each other 3 times in the last 2 years. They've all been great games. This could be a launching board tonight for John Glenn as they bounce back after the 1-point loss to Sheridan.
No doubt about it. This is a rivalry we're watching form in the last 2 years, and I think it's only going to get tighter and tighter.
Well, again, and it's going to be Philo having to travel or actually play 2 very good teams in Sheridan and Tri-Valley down the road. The final here tonight, it was John Glenn winning on the road 21-17. He's the coach, Doug Clifford. I'm Kevin Rouch. We've been live with you tonight. By the way, you can see this game tomorrow morning at 11:30. Next week, again, we'll have Crooksville at Morgan. We'll see you then.